We are going live. Yeah, the food banks are back, but not like before. That's the title of this show because COVID-19 still rules. It rules today. So I went to one food bank on Wednesday again, and they do the same thing. You know, they're not letting you in the building, and they're meeting you outside the door. So they still doing the same thing, but they have you sign up. They have somebody come out and sign up. And the same thing with the one over here on the park side. Went to that one. It was Friday. It could be a Wednesday or Friday. Whenever the truck come in, they do an outdoor event too. But this time they would had you sign up, your name and the head count and your family. So they were getting a little bit more closer to us. But before they were just asking us that. Now they wanted to sign up, so we sharing a pen. So they're not worried about it being passed on like before. The C-19, the COVID-19, being passed on from person to person, touching the same objects, but it still might happen. So I know now to bring my own pen. That's the answer to that for me. But they had us sign up, and they still run theirs outdoors, and everything pre-packed. Ain't no picking through nothing. And we did our thing again with cleaners. Both of them are cleaners. I've yet to go to a Forgotten Harvest one yet. They're running the one on Thursdays, but I've been passing on it. No, that'd be my event on Thursday. So when they get a little bit more comfortable with the weather, because we're getting a heat wave right now, I might check them out one Thursday. But to my surprise, that Thursday once a month, that church up there, the Catholic church in the area that does the cleaners, they was open. They had their sign out. So I went by there to check them out before the holiday, the 4th of July holiday. And they served us pretty well for the holiday. And all we had to do was just sign up. Their name is in the computer system. They didn't ask for ID like before. And they just served us up. But they didn't let us come in the building. And they didn't even let us come up to the steps. So they wanted us from a long distance. They wanted us really close to the door entrance. So we waited on the sidewalk outside the church, and they came and brought it to us. So that's how things have changed so far with the ones I went to. I haven't went to that Friday one I used to go to, 9 o'clock. I don't know if they're 9 o'clock or 11 o'clock. But I did go to the one in Samaritan on a Saturday. And that line was ridiculous. There was a cleaner's truck too, with some goodies from Fiat Chrysler. They were partnered up with them. The truck came from Gleaners, and the extra supplies came from Fiat Chrysler. And they had cars lined up around the corner, and they had put the word out, I guess on the internet, because it wasn't on the news. But they had them lined up around the corner from Samaritan, all the way around. It was ridiculous. And a lot of people waiting on their cars. So I did a drive up. I didn't know I could do one or not, because the first time I went through there, I asked the police officer that was there, could I do a walk-through? And she didn't know, because I didn't want to upset nobody in line. They them hooping and hollering over that spot. And they driving, and they had to wait in my own line. And I cruised on up. So I left the first time, but on my way back, I got caught by the train on Warren Avenue, and the line had shortened up because it had been around Warren. The police had come out to cut off one street so they can have people line up and be on one side of the street so they can come in. One street in, one street out. So they, just by chance, by me waiting on the train, because I got caught by the train, I'm right by the railroad track, and that's where they were set up at. So I was looking over there to one of the ladies I know that was volunteering. And she had called me earlier and told me that it was going to happen, and for me to come on through there to walk here. But I didn't know what was happening, so I was looking for her. I seen her, but I didn't really wave at her. But she seen me and waved me down before the train had completed crossing over. Well, this is a long train for Fiat Chrysler when they're picking up cars, so that you can be stuck in line a long time. And this was on a Saturday. So she waved me on down. She came down to the fence where I was at. I'm on the sidewalk and she on the fence, on the inside property part. And she let me know that I could do a walk up. So she told me to come on around and she'll tell the police officer to let me on through. Not to, hold me up. But she really didn't hold me up. I should have went on through anyway. But I didn't want to be too aggressive over some, give away food. So I circled back around and came on through there and picked up the goodies they had. They picked up that much, but it was worth the trip. So they let me know the food banks are back. She was supposed to have the event. The lady that has the food bank up at Samaritan one Thursday, or was that a Tuesday? But anyway, that was her one day a week. It might have been a Tuesday. Yeah, it was a Tuesday. And I came up there and they had another event going. But they were giving away something for kids. So they had something going on, but it wasn't the food bank. So I know with her, I have to call and to verify with everything with her. But she said, I know she don't have any control of everything, but she'll set you up and say one thing and it'll be another. But, like I say, it's right in the neighborhood, so it ain't but about 5 minutes or 10 minutes to get there. And that's on a bicycle with a trailer. So that's why I want to emphasize that it's June, July, the food banks coming back online and give people opportunity to get some food. So there's still plenty of food out here. But the virus haven't left yet. So people are starting to let their guard down, thinking because we don't have a big head count of people dying from the virus, but people still getting it and it's still spreading. So it's about keeping it under control until the fall. Then we're really going to see what's going to happen. So that's what's happening with the food bank. And I had the chance to do some work. Well, I had really do no work because I need to do some work on finish that bicycle. I still ain't did that 10 speed, but I'm hooking up this other bike. But this young lady I gave a bike a year ago, and she told me it wasn't working right. And I told her that if she had told me about it earlier, how she could have brought it back to me, and I would have hooked up with another bike. They used to hold on to a bike. It was a used bike, so why hold on to it if it's not working? She had read my card. She know I work on bikes. So having the bike ain't no big thing. I always got bikes. Especially when people know you be working on bikes, they give me bikes. So I got this giveaway bike this neighbor gave me that I'm going to hook her up with. So that's what I was working on this week. And I ran out of one part that costs $1 per part. That holds, that adjusts the cable for the brake. It's the adjuster for the cable for the brake. It's a plastic piece of material. And all it does is holds the cable in place for your brake cables. And it adjusts. It adjusts your brake cable and makes it tight. Holds it in place. It's housing too. It holds that cable in place. So I was, a little disappointed that I found out that she hadn't been riding it because it was not in working order. So I'm going to hook up with another bike. And hopefully this year, last year we didn't get a chance to ride. She ain't really no big bike rider. But I'm going to tell her this year, hook up with this bike, the stimulation, at least have one bike ride out of it. I want to see her ride it one time. And so that's the plan. So I hooked that one up. I'm going to hook the 10-speed up finally. I did do this change with my other bicycle. The electric one, I changed the tires around. I still ain't rode the other one. So I'm behind on everything with the bicycle. It's ridiculous. I said I wasn't going to be behind this month coming up, but it's showing up. I'm behind again. With the bicycle, but with the tour, it got canceled. But I'm still behind. We getting all that paperwork finished. Even though I went out and took pictures, and I got most of my pictures that I need taken, and I've been talking about it with people. You try to find somebody to be a tour guide. If they be the guide, I'll be the sweeper. The money didn't come earlier like they said it would, so it got to be spent by August. It's about $750. So that'd be enough to pay somebody to do it, to be a tour guide with the tour. But the COVID-19 is going to dictate whether we throw down with it or not. Because if it's still on and popping or get worse, then I ain't gonna try to put nobody at no harm's risk just to go on a tour. Because this is educational tours, and I'm going with just 2 of them. Out the 3 I really can choose. I choose the 2 that is don't have that many miles to roll. So one is a little longer than the other one, but it's not that much traveling involved, so it should be easier to do than the long one. The long one was like almost 18 miles round trip. These would be 2 miles for one and 5 miles for the other one. 5 or 6 miles for the other one round trip. So we'll see what happens. We just plan things, because I ain't heard much about the tour group. They almost dissolved themselves. They ain't my kind of people. Not my kind of people at all. But I hung in there because the money was involved. Might get lucky and hit the jackpot with them and be able to advertise what I'm going to do. So I put the tour first, and then my personalities, they have to deal with it second. So I got some square personalities. But it's one professor that brought in the $5,000. I don't know how he got divided up to be so less. But it was divided by 4. So somebody must have took some more money too. Probably got divided up by 5. But anyway, she just made a paper on it. So that's her paper. That's her ownership of it. Because I remember when she first started, she didn't know nothing about it. She was all nervous when she first started. She didn't know whether she was going to write it down or put it in the laptop she had from school. So, but the other professor that got it started let her know that she could take the lead. And then when she took the lead, they let her know that it can be your baby if you want it. And she took it on like that. So she had took complete ownership of this. It took a few years to get to where she at, but she has arrived. And she's doing papers on it. And she put a paper out about that, and it got a lot of recognition. So we got our names on it, so we give a recognition for being part of that study. The study consists of, because our area considered low income because of zip code. In the last head, it count with the census was low because of the recession. So the head count was definitely low, and the income was low also. So that shows us as low income area. So they came here to find out how can we benefit with making some extra money doing a tour in the area that we grew up and know about it. So that's how that came about. And it ran for about 2 years with the money they had. Then they kept it going, and we created what is called a core group. The 5 last ones was left to do it. And what happened is we stuck together long enough to get that money. She had a chance to get $5,000 out of the $10,000 that she asked for. She got 5 out of 10,000 she asked for us to do a local study, for us to finance our studies. And that's where the money comes from. So that was her way of, I guess, trying to keep it going, because her interest got to be what happens after the 2-year study. The 2-year study had enough money in there to finance some tours, but they was geared towards bus tours and not bicycle tours or walking tours, something that you could bus people in. Bicycle tours are the same, not the same thing. It's a completely different thing. So anyway, that's where I got the money from to do it, because I kept hanging with them, because I was looking for somebody to come in and be a bicycle rider and want to participate like that. Then we could have teamed up, but I didn't get lucky enough for that to happen. So I ran solo, but I got this bicycle group on nextdoor.com. Go citywide. So that's a local social group on the internet. They go citywide with neighborhood events. So long as it's neighborhood geared, you can post things up on their internet site. So by me starting this group, I got about 70 people that I can reach out to. Maybe about 20 out of 30 might check their emails. but you reach out to people by way of emails. So out of that, I might get a core group of 10 or 15 people. If I get a core group of 10 or 15 people that are willing to participate in this study, I mean my survey, because I'm going to put out my previews. I had a chance to make some previews of the route and the tour itself with a lot of information using the Google sites. So I use the Google Tour and Google Blogger to put all this information on. So they'll have a preview of the tour before they go on the tour. And that's the whole purpose of doing that. So that's where I'm at with that. So I need to finish that up this month so I can show y'all before August, before the money comes up, so I can show them that I did something towards that tour. And then see what's happening with that before the money comes up. So I want to have that done this month. Everything gets done this month in August. Before August, in July. I guarantee you, I'm going to take a day off, just do each and every one of these things I need to do and get it done with no excuses and no delays and no distractions. We'll not be distracted by anything. It'll be that whole day we'll have that purpose of doing that one thing until I get finished. If I don't get finished that day, I'll get finished the next day. Because I'm at the closer to the finish line, but I'm not at the finish line with a whole lot of projects, and that don't make no sense. So I'm not going to be running around with my head cut off like a chicken. I'm going to get one thing done at a time until I get them all done. So that's what's happening. So, time for me to go. I'm on that bell. Time to say adios to me go.